Remember when I said we could work on this project forever? Well, I kept working on it. We left these tree types up to a vote, and these are the ones that came out on top between stream and YouTube polls. I like how it looks. Topiary trees leading us into our library here, where we did a little bit more decorating on the inside, and our paintings are not up yet, but hopefully by the end of the episode, we have them up. So, as we all know, that was a huge project. And as I said, it's still ongoing. The outside has a lot of potential. You can see that we started working on the gardens. While we have these hedges laid, we don't have like the centerpiece done yet. So that's something else that I'll be working on, probably in streams and whatnot. But for now, I'm loving the way this is looking, and I think these trees really frame the entrance nicely, inviting you in to the Midnight Athenaeum. But the Midnight Athenaeum is not what we are working on today. We're going to be adding a build over in this area. Somewhere along here, I think, I have a church that I want to build. Church, a chapel. I'm not sure what the correct term would be for it, but it is inspired by one of my favorite D&D campaigns, Curse of Strahd. So if you're familiar with that, you may be familiar with this church. But one of the things that I've noticed in the past few episodes, chicken restock, one of the things I've noticed in the past few episodes is every time I need resources, I'm always just gathering exactly what I need, using them all, and then waiting until next time where I need them again and repeating that process. So we want to be a little bit smarter about our resource gathering. For this build in particular, I need a couple things that can be farmed. One of those is basalt, the other is pale hanging moss. I do need some pale moss as well. Not sure if we'll make that farm today, but I've kind of been hung up on making all of my farms look pretty outside of these two back here. These are just functional right now. But with that hang up, it's led me to kind of stray away from making those simple farms that I could get a lot of use out of. So today we are going to start out by just making two small farms. Nothing too crazy, just something to help us gather our resources. Speaking of small farms, can I show you the most shameful cactus farm in existence? I had a few minutes of freedom today while I wasn't recording, so I threw together the most embarrassing cactus farm you'll ever see in your life. I just stood here AFK for a few hours. I didn't even get a stack, but I got almost a stack. And that's what I needed for the green dye that you saw used on those trees. Eventually, a cactus farm will appear in our world. Eventually, I'd like to make really any kind of farm that I can just to make it easier for us to build. I find the more farms you have, the easier it is to bring more creative things into your world. I'd like to spend less time being conservative with my block choice and more time just letting my creativity flow. So the two farms today are simple, but they're a step in the right direction. And speaking of farms, of course, our build will have some utility to it. It will have a secret hidden farm. This is a hint, but the farm itself won't be housed inside the build. The build will lead to our farm. I wanted something else in this area as well, since we really only have the Dragon's Trove over here. The location of the church was chosen to lead you further into this populated area, further towards the library and that village over there. But also, we want to place it so it doesn't block the view of this mountain, because we've got big plans for this mountain that I'm not quite ready to share yet. Don't want to set our expectations too high. But I'm excited for what we have planned for there. So with that said, I don't have a great plan for these farms just yet, but I do think we need blue ice for the basalt farm. So got to find some of that. Got our blue ice. We had 2 stacks of packed ice. That took a lot more than I expected, but I think this will be enough. I do want to take a second to thank everyone who submitted art. I had a good feeling that there were a lot of talented, creative people in my community, and I was not disappointed. I do think we had enough submissions where I could feature everybody, but I couldn't feature every art piece. It was very hard to pick. So thank you all for who submitted. And now that they'll be showcased, Hope you all can show them some love in the comments. We'll take a look at those in just a little bit. I did want to touch on our villagers over here. We moved some more over after we moved over all of our librarians. So these guys have been a great source of emeralds, which has been fantastic. And they have stuck around for the most part. We do have one guy that likes to wander down here, but he eventually finds his way back up by time night falls. Oh, and the rain is back. How wonderful. So I'm going to get my inventory cleared up. We need a few more things to get these farms going. First things first, we got transition from tree making to farm making. Also, I need to bring my happy gas back up to the ship, but I've just been too lazy. I was on him for an hour last week, over an hour last week. We need some time apart. Well, I got a little ahead of myself and started collecting some resources, and a creeper got me. So our levels are gone once again, but that's okay. We had to make the long journey back with our unenchanted Elytra, but we did it. But I'm going to get these farms started. So in the meantime, let's throw it over to that time lapse of us chopping down a bunch of acacia trees and ultimately meeting our death. Both of these farms are really simple, so I am just making them in the wood shop. We've got space, so I figured might as well. And I'm hoping that we can run these both at the same time. Kind of just eyeballing this right now, but like I said, they're fairly straightforward, so I think we'll be okay. This is for our basalt, which we need a good amount of. We're going to be using the basalt for the roof, and then we'll need, honestly, we don't need that much pale hanging moss, but I do find myself using it to detail builds quite often. So I figured we might as well make a farm for it. The one downside, or I guess our bottleneck for that build, is going to be our bone meal. We are really, really low on bones. I actually killed some skeletons while resource gathering just to try to build up our resources a little bit. But, you know, ain't that the way? So let's see. This should create, yes, that worked. Okay, cool. So we are in business there. Oh, where did my redstone go? Okay, grab some redstone. I did just upgrade my mic setup here a little bit. Same mic, but just a different controller. I'm hoping that we're sounding good, but we're going to record this clip and I will listen back to it just to be 100% sure, see if we need any tweaks. We were sounding good before, but every app that I was using between Discord and OBS and Meld for streaming sounding a little different each time. So wanted something to control us where we were always sounding the same. So hopefully it's doing the job, but like I said, we'll give it a shot, see what it sounds like after this clip. Okay, I think this is correct. Maybe. That didn't quite work, did it? Missing something. Okay. I think I fixed it. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. Perfect. Well, we just have to sit here forever. Not quite. But we will need to farm quite a bit of this. But I'm glad it's working. That was actually super easy. So now we just need the pale moss farm and we can get a move on. Cool. Does seem like you lose some back there, but maybe we just need a block on top of this. That's probably all we would need there. And like that, maybe. Let's see. Nope, seems to be working great. We're not missing anything. It'd be better if we had a beacon over here, and I do have an extra beacon, so maybe we will move it. But all in all, I'm happy with that. That's already almost a stack and a half. Okay. The pale moss farm should be just as easy. I think I've got everything we need in this chest here and now in our inventory. Let's just put it, that's probably fine. Put it right there. Am I breaking something here? No. Just want to make sure our hopper doesn't get locked, but I think we're fine. These bones are all we have left, unfortunately. I actually think this is it, but I forgot to grab pale hanging moss. So why don't we do that first? Bedtime. All right, let's see if that was really that easy. I'm gonna need my hoe. I hear a witch. Let him be. Okay, so now I think we just need to keep turning it on like this, maybe. Duh. That needs to come out. Okay. No, I think you turn it on like that. And then we just grab our hoe here, aim at the bottom, and we have a pale hanging moss farm. We've already overloaded the hopper. Whoops. Turn it off just like that. That was supposed to be a sticky piston. All right, all we need to do is change that to a sticky piston and we will be all done with this one. Got a block there. There we go. Perfect. What a nice little simple farm. One thing I don't have easy access to are slimes. I think we actually might be out of slime balls. So this, granted, this is more than we need right now, but it's such a great little simple farm. Both of those farms are great. So now we've got our bamboo. Wow, we have a lot of bamboo here. I was not expecting that, but we can always use more. So that's really good. So as we're collecting our other resources here, we'll also be generating bamboo. And I just love little farms like this. And it makes me kick myself because I always think, why haven't I done this? Or why didn't I do this earlier? Again, 2 resources that are great. And that took me all of 15 minutes, maybe. We've got an easy source of basalt now where I don't have to worry about going into the nether and dying and all that. And then the pale hanging moss, easy source of that as well. All we need is some extra bone meal and we'll be all set with that. So I think I'm going to start collecting these resources, getting exactly what we need. And we'll jump into our build a little early in this episode because we've got a farm to make after that. And we want that to look nice as well. So let me collect these resources. Hopefully it'll be nice and quick with these 2 great farms. And then we will be on our way to starting our church build. The first thing you may have noticed is that this build is in a completely different location than what I was originally planning. I decided that this area was just a better spot for it. It felt kind of weird to have a church right across from a tavern. Having it across from the library felt more realistic, so we decided to go with this spot here. This build was very, very fun. It was very different because it was a little bit more dark and dreary compared to some of our more bright and vibrant builds that we've been doing. But all in all, it came together so nicely. The outside has a lot of really beautiful detail that we'll touch on once the time lapse is over. The inside also has that same level of detail. In the floors and the walls, you can see there's little bricks missing from the interior and exterior walls, just showing deterioration over time of this church. All in all, it's meant to look abandoned, but there's still the candles lit at the altar and the priest's last sermon on the podium. And with the sun rising, we have our build completed. We've got a couple more little things to do, but the bulk of it is all done. So let's take a look on the inside here and just see what kind of rooms we have. We have a hatch going down in this room, which we'll talk about in a second. We have a couple bedrooms, little loft spaces up top, little study over here. Actually, we could fill up this area with some books. All right, and we've got a little loft space up here as well. And then right through here, we have the main interior of the church. It's a little dreary, but I like it. Need some ink so we can put a book on that pedestal there. The chain leads up to the bell at the top of the tower. We have the altar up front and just some little details all around. It's a little dim in here, but that is kind of the point. I want it to be a little dark and dreary. Overall, I'm super happy with how it turned out. I think the detail on this build is really cool. I love these arches on both sides. I love the detailing of the brick and the tuff. Little candles on top for just a little added bit of detail, even all the way up there. And I love the way that these trees kind of add another frame for this building. So we've got a little bit of landscaping to do, but first things first, there's a couple things missing from this build. Actually, should just be one. And I realize that I think I need a crafting table. I'm going to use the loom here, but I've never used a loom. I want to start making some banners to kind of fit into the world, and this will be our first go at it. Let's see. If this is as easy as I think it is, we'll throw the banner in the loom here. We'll throw, I think I need white dye. Banner, the dye, the oxide daisy? No. I'm missing something. I need to make a pattern. I think that just involves paper. Like I said, I've never used the loom before. These villagers all have a death wish. I think I need to put a fence up there just so they don't make their way down. Let's see. I know we've got paper over here. Is that what I need to do? Yeah. Okay, that's easy enough. All right, so with only one misstep, I think our banners should work out now. All right, let's give that another try. We've got our banners, we've got our dye, and then we've got our charges. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. Can we stack those? We can. And, oh, okay, so 2 missteps. You keep the pattern after you make it. So we didn't need 3, we needed 1. That's okay. We have plenty of oxide daisies, so wasting a couple is not a big deal. And there we go. Those look good. So with that, the building itself is complete. Before we hop into the landscaping, I want to take a look at some of the art pieces that were submitted. We did get all of that in. You might have seen a couple inside the church, but they do repeat themselves over here. We've had some incredible submissions, and the window isn't closed. I know some people are still working on their submissions, and they will be added in. And if you're interested in having your art on these walls, join the Discord. We've got a channel in there. You can throw your art in. And I will most likely throw it up on the walls as long as we have space for it. So we've got some really cool submissions. We've got Kirsten, Zavia, Taurus, Ray. They're just all so unique. And I know we've got, like I said, a few more coming as well. So they just add so much more life to this build. We still have some Minecraft ones because, like I said, we've got space for more. But there are so many awesome paintings. And if you're curious as to like who made a specific one, leave a comment. I'd be happy to tell you. It would take a while for me to run around and repeat myself a bunch of times, but if you're interested, let me know. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful art pieces. Thank you to all those who submitted. All right, so we've got a couple outdoor things I want to do to this build, and one of them is adding this pond. You can see we did a cliffside behind it, and it's pretty much blocked by the build, but right here you can see it. So now we've got all of this ice to break. Now we're good, I think. I think we're good. All right. So now we can add in our little waterfall. Actually, let's see. There we go. Yep. Fill this out a little bit. In the very near future, we'll bring some frogs over here. Maybe we'll throw some axolotls in there as well, just to add a little life. Now we've got this part. Let's get up there. So this should be a lot easier. Yep. And 1, 2. All right, let's see how that ended up looking. Perfect. All right, that felt exactly how I wanted it to. There's our first addition to the outside. Our next addition will add a little bit of lore to this build, at least the first step in adding lore to this build. And that is the graveyard. The graveyard is going to go right here, right off the side of the building. I'm going to make a gate here, and we're just going to have graves scattered throughout. And the graveyard will not be lit up. I think if we take a look here, yeah, we've got a little bit of lighting on this side. And actually, we might knock that out just to keep it all. Let's see. Let's get this out of there for now. Yeah, I think we're going to get rid of this. Keep it dark. So at night, the undead will rise from the ground and haunt the graveyard. At least that's the plan. So let me grab the materials I need for that, and we can get on with the next portion of our build. So first things first is going to be defining where the graveyard starts. I wanted to go for just kind of like a chain link fence on this one. Sure, it's a graveyard. We don't have to make anything too grand. And we'll add a fence at the back here as well, just kind of cutting it off, just so we can have some separation between the front and the back. Okay, that kind of defines our area that we'll be working in. Now it's time to play with some gravestone designs here. Just see if we can get something figured out. I'll probably add more grass just to make it look overgrown, but we'll kind of scatter these sporadically around. That's simple, but I think it gets the point across. It looks like a grave to me. Something different, but I think it still works. Okay, we're slowly getting somewhere. I saw this little trick online. If you do, is it this? Yeah, it kind of looks like a coffin opening. I think that's super, super cool. But all in all, this is starting to come together. I'm just going to add some detail to the ground here. Some eye blossoms around this one as well. Kind of overgrow in between the gravestones, but we'll leave it a little bit more clear in front of them. We've got a very full inventory, but night is a fallen, so let's see if we can't get just a couple candles, light up some of these graves. What? How is that possible? I thought there was a cap. Oh, I see some string up there. Sorry, super distracted. I can't believe how many iron golems are at this village. That doesn't add up. So strange. These guys are not looking too good, but I will leave them be. Couple there. We'll put one here. Excuse me. And we'll leave one more by this grave here. Okay, with that, with our undead walking through the graveyard, I think that's it. Just a simple little build off the side, nothing too crazy, but just something to add a little bit more life to the church here. I need to get my inventory all straightened out, and then we will be moving on to that Skelly farm. The start of our Skelly farm is going to begin right down here. We have a little hatch in the corner here, and this hatch in the story from which this build is inspired leads down to a bit of a crypt, I guess. It's the basement of the actual church, and hidden in the basement is the priest's son. His son has actually been turned, or is in the process of being turned into a vampire. Now, we don't have vampires in Minecraft, but we can use our imagination, and we will substitute skeletons instead. So let me clear out this area, and then we will get on with the skeleton farm build. All right, we've got a dark, creepy basement and a door that currently leads nowhere, but that will lead us down to our Skelly farm. So we don't necessarily want mobs down here, although it probably would be lore accurate. I need to get some lanterns, and I'll get those a little later and hang them up. But for now, I need to dig down. Okay, if my coordinates are correct, we should be right above the Skelly spawner. Just a few more blocks down, so let's get ready. I can hear them. There they are. Ooh. Yes, fight each other, please. There's a lot. Okay. Okay, you guys do what you gotta do. The plan will be, that'll be our AFK spot there. We'll push the skeletons. Ooh, music disc cat. Classic. Okay, so at this point, I am going to make a very basic Skelly farm. Clear out a little area. I'm gonna shoot the Skellies up a bubble elevator, bring them over, and then hopefully drop them down. But all in all, it'll be a basic Skelly farm. So we'll do a quick little time lapse, and then I think we'll be good. And why not add a couple redstone dots to our basement to make it look a little creepier. And that's how you build a skeleton farm in 15 seconds. It's pretty basic design, same as pretty much any skeleton farm you would see. The only difference is I'm not worried about getting XP from this farm. This is more to generate some bones and to add some utility to the build as well. So, I mean, I've only sat here for like 10 minutes. We already have over a stack. They should start coming. I just logged back in Takes a second for them to get up, but once they start going, it's kind of a constant stream. So any minute now, these guys should fall down. There they are. So the fire just kills them. We get the items, filters through there. The one thing that we're missing, obviously, is the looting. But again, this is just a passive way to get bones. And we can also get arrows. Granted, I don't need any of those, but it's a nice little farm. It does the job. So with that, we are done with the church build. I added a little bit more detail in this cellar room here, just to make it look abandoned and a little creepy. And then going back up here, everything in here remained about the same. We added our book. We've got our paintings up, and we did add another painting in here just in time before I was finished recording. We got a painting from Lolo, and this is one of my OCs, one of my D&D characters, Cloven, and Lolo did a great recreation of him in his own style. I love it. I had to cut off some of the picture to get him to fit. The whole if you want to see the whole thing, join the Discord and look at the art showcase channel. We've got a lot of great drawings in there, a lot of great art that didn't make it in, just because people submitted a lot. So I just picked a few from each person, and that is still open, like I said, for the future. So we've got one more thing to do today, and I think you probably know what it is. Our custom tree, and this week our commenter is Myriad Esoterica. What a name. I love it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching the videos. And remember, if you want a custom tree in the world, leave a comment on this video and I'll choose a random one for next week. So on this dreary, rainy afternoon, I think that's where we'll leave off. I had a great time with this one. It was such a fun build. A little different than what we've been doing, but I think it adds just another beautiful piece to this world and another bit of the story. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully the weather where you are is a little bit sunnier than this. But with that, I'll see you next week. So thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time.